Alright guys, so I feel like I owe somewhat of an explanation, which is something I say on this channel way too often. The original plan was I was going to play a ton of games all back to back and then still edit them and release them after the season was over so you guys could see what ended up happening. But obviously things didn't quite go to plan. And yes, the run is over. No, didn't make it anywhere near World Series. I want to say the highest rating I got to was only like 758. There just wasn't a very high ceiling for this team at this point in the year. I mean, on paper, this team is honestly a really good team, but there was just too many guys that I personally just wasn't good with. So yeah, the run's over, but it was still a lot of fun. Like, I had a lot of fun trying to do this, and honestly what might have made it fun is the fact that I was actually posting consistently, which that kind of went by the wayside. And in all honesty, I got so upset at how the games ended that I took almost like a week break from this game, and that's kind of why I haven't been posting. And that's also why I didn't want to release each game as an individual episode, because it was just depressing to me. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go through those games. I'm just going to go on the box score screen, but I might throw up some highlights from the games. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. But my original plan was I was going to start playing Sunday night, and I was going to play as many games as I could, recording them live, and see if I could get myself into a good spot. And then if I couldn't yet, then I was going to play some more games, not live recorded, until I went to bed. And that's what I did. So this game here was one that was live recorded, and you can see I picked up the win. It wasn't the prettiest game. It was only 3-1, 6 hits for me on all-star difficulty. I don't know why I had so much trouble hitting with these guys. But yeah, this game was pretty much all Luis Robert. He had 2 home runs, and on those 2 home runs drove in 3, and that was literally our entire offense. Chris Sale did pitch a really good game though. He went a full 9. Only gave up 1 run. I don't remember how he gave up the run. Might have just been an errant home run. But I finally got the dominant game out of Chris Sale that I had kind of been looking for. And then I moved on to the next game, and we picked up the win in this one too. And this was one that was a little bit more on the exciting side, because obviously it was in extra innings, but I actually put a decent game together at the plate with 14 hits. We had 3 guys with 3 hits. Minoso, Thomas, and Jimenez all had 3 hits. Moncada, I think this was the first game that I started him, because I got to a point where I just realized Madrigal just wasn't good for me, and I put in Moncada, and I probably should have done it sooner, because Moncada had 2 hits for a double and a home run, drove in 2. We also got our first error of the entire series out of Eloy Jimenez in this one. It didn't really affect much, but yeah, we gave up 3 runs in the first. Kopech gave up 3 in the first, then he settled in, and then Hoyer and Crochet, just like usual, were pretty unhittable. But then after that game, I moved up to 749. So because I was pretty far into the 700s, it was pretty much a guarantee that the next game was going to be on Hall of Fame. And I guess I just wasn't ready for the jump. This transition from All-Star to Hall of Fame, especially on ranked seasons, man, I never got used to it. I could never handle the transition. The only time I could hit somewhat decent on Hall of Fame difficulty on ranked seasons this year was if I had been able to play like 4 or 5 games on Hall of Fame already that same day. Then I could start getting used to it. But anyway, literally got 2 hit in this game. I didn't pick up my first hit until like the 7th inning, and it was just an Aparicio single. And then finally in the 9th, I was able to turn on one with Eloy. He hit it out. I mean, it was really for nothing. The funny part is though, is that this could have been a 3-1 loss if I had just not put in Liam Hendricks. He had a pretty usual game, giving up 5 hits, 4 runs in 1/3 inning pitched. I seriously don't get how a 99, a prestige 99, can be as bad as Liam Hendricks is in this game. And you can also see there that Jose Abreu got an inning pitched, and he was literally our best pitcher of the game. I didn't mean to. It was a mistake. I pinch hit with him, and then I accidentally backed out when it told me to put a new pitcher in, and then because of the 3-batter minimum, I couldn't take him out. But it was kind of funny that he was the only one to not allow a hit. So yeah, that was an ugly game. That was the last one I recorded live. Then I took a little bit of a break, and I was going to play a bunch of games, not live recording, and I was going to edit those down into like a highlight thing, and then I was going to go on my run on Monday morning. That didn't happen. So my first game back after the break was a 3-2 loss. This game was back down on All-Star, which kind of made this worse, that I could only put up 2. The only 2 runs I had were on a solo home run from Frank in the first inning. That was kind of questionable if I remember right. And then Grandal actually had a pretty decent home run in the second inning, and he had 2 hits that game. So maybe it just took me not live recording for Grandal to actually be decent. But yeah, I was pretty much riding those 2 runs all game until the 8th inning, where I left Rob Dibble in for his second inning of work. The guy literally couldn't hit him the entire time. And then all of a sudden in the 8th inning, I think he pieced together a couple of little hits, and then he just happened to time up the fastball on one pitch, and that's all it took to tie it. And then in the bottom of the 9th, he walked me off on a home run. So that had left a bad taste in my mouth, and this is the game that ended it. This one had me. I haven't been. It's March, and I'm still playing the game that came out over a year ago. And I don't know if there was a game that has ever made me this upset. And it was literally exactly what the other guy wanted. He was just a troll, but unfortunately he had to be kind of good at the game too. It was on All-Star again. I could only put up 1 run even though it was on All-Star. But of this guy's 14 hits, I'm pretty sure 5 of them came on bunts. He had an entire team of speedy guys. I was putting bunt defense on. He would bunt it directly to Frank at first base, and I still couldn't get the out. So I didn't know at that point what to even do. But other than that, he put a couple decent swings on the ball. That's really where his runs came from. My only run came from another Grandal homer, and he had another game of going 2 for 4. So again, it must take me not recording the games live to be good with Grandal. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know how else to describe it. You can kind of see there it cuts it off because he had so many steals. But look, Ty Cobb, if he had 3 stolen bases or 1 caught stealing, that kind of shows it. I don't even know how many caught stealings he had total. I don't know how many steals he had total. But this dude was just trying to run all over the place. He was even running with guys that weren't fast on the bases, so I don't know. But Dunning, he kind of, I mean, this was the final nail of him proving that he was really the only pitcher that couldn't hang at this point in the year, being a lower overall. But yeah, that's pretty much it for those games. And I couldn't handle playing anymore after I lost to this guy. And after that game, I think I went all the way down to 669, which might honestly be the lowest we got to in this series. So at that point, I just kind of resigned to the fact that I wasn't going to be able to put anything significant together. So yeah, that spelled the end of the run. I think the final record overall, I think I went 9-10 in that season. I think I went 8-9 because I played 2 games in the season before when I ended up not really finishing things out. But one last thing before I do go here, I kind of have a bit of a surprise. I didn't mention it throughout, but I kept track of stats throughout all the games played. So here's my Excel sheet. So, I mean, it kind of just shows what I was saying is I wasn't good enough with enough of these players to actually put together consistently good games. It was really only Luis Robert, Frank, and Eloy that I was consistently good hitting with. They were the only 3 starters over 1,000 OPS, over 300 average. I was pretty good with Minoso. He wasn't quite as consistent, but he was still a pretty good card to use, and he had the 2nd most home runs on the team, which I don't know, I didn't really expect out of him. And I kept saying this team lived and died by the home run, and that was exactly it. We had 46 home runs throughout the whole team in those 19 games. So yeah, there's not much left to go over with the hitting, but it is what it is. There was only a couple good guys I was good with. I mean, Luis Robert and Eloy were a lot of fun to use because they were two guys I was actually good with. Now over to pitching, which was not really the issue at all. I do think I pitched a little bit worse with this team as a whole than I like normally pitch when I play ranked seasons. But when you think of some of the guys that are on the squad, like not a whole lot of 99s facing pretty much only 99s, these guys pretty much held their own. I mean, just a quick look at the ERAs there. Sale, Giolito, and especially Burley had pretty solid ERAs. Kopech, his ERA is kind of deceiving. I mean, I guess not really deceiving because he did give up 13 earned runs in 18 innings, but he still had the second lowest batting average against, the second lowest whip. And then the bullpen, honestly, if you only looked at these four guys here, it was pretty good. The big one is Garrett Crochet. I mean, this dude, I said he was the best lefty in the game, and he kind of proved it. Going 11 innings total, not giving up a single run, only giving up 5 hits. So yeah, that was my attempt at making World Series with an all White Sox team. Obviously, we didn't really accomplish the goal, not even close. But I don't know. I mean, it was fun to use this team. It was fun to actually be consistent with it until I ruined it. But fortunately, we don't have too long until MLB 21 comes out. Less than a month at this point. So we still got some things to finish up on MLB 20. We're going to be playing the Rangers March to October until it finishes, and then I've got a couple of fun team build ideas before this game cycle ends here. And then we'll be on to 21. And you better believe I'm gonna be on the grind. I'm gonna be posting a lot in 21. But for now, that's all I've got for this one. If you guys enjoyed, if you guys like the series, make sure you hit the like button and then subscribe to see more of the I was gonna say more of the White Sox World Series push, but it's over. I don't know why I was gonna say that. But just subscribe if you enjoyed the videos, because MLB 21 is going to be a lot of fun. But for now, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.